Expedition 24 Soyuz Commander Fyodor Yurchikhin and NASA flight engineers Doug Wheelock and Shannon and backup crew members Dmitri Kondratyev, Coleman and Paolo Nespoli of the European Space Agency participated in traditional ceremonies at Red Square in Moscow, May 31, 2010, laying flowers at the Kremlin Wall as they paid tribute to iconic Russian officials buried there. The ceremony is part of the traditional activities in advance of their launch June 16th to the International Space Station. Prior to that, they fielded questions from the media at their training base at the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center in Star City, Russia, outside Moscow.
In accordance with the flight program to the International Space Station on June 16, 2010, from the Baikonur launch pad, we're planning to launch Soyuz TMA-19 with the crew members of increments 24 and 25. The flight program is 164 days. The crew members are going to be docking to the ISS after the return of increment on TMA-18. The commander of the Soyuz vehicle and flight engineer of the International Space Station is Fyodor Yurchikhin, flight engineer 2 of Soyuz TMA, and flight engineer of the ISS, flight engineer of ISS 25, Douglas Wheelock, USA, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle and ISS, flight engineer of the backup commander of Soyuz TMA, flight engineer of the ISS, Kondratyev Dmitri Yuryevich, and flight engineer of the Soyuz TMA vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS, increment 24, commander of the ISS in increment 25. Soyuz TMA and flight engineer of the ISS, Paolo Nespoli, European Space Agency, Italy. Today, for the first time at the press conference, we invited the winners and participants of the contest of the space exploration. Today at the press conference, we have a chance to ask several questions. The press conference is planned for 30 minutes. Could you please ask the questions? A question to the prime crew, traditional question. What is the mascot of your vehicle? And what kind of mascots or charms you're going to bring with you? And another small question, who's going to travel with you to send you off to space, your relatives or close friends? The mascot is the same. It has already flown to space twice. It's a small dog. I have already told the story a long time ago. Since I've had it since graduation. Every time our former school children, our graduates, when we get together, we talk about our lucky charms or our mascots. I'm going to bring the dog and the toys and photographs and different emblems from different agencies and organizations. Everything is going to be as usual and unusual because we're going to space. Please, your question. No. Same question. Everybody has their lucky charm. I'm going to bring some emblems of my university, etc. I am going to bring my family photographs and my daughter's photograph on horseback. And also military medals. You need a different mic. I'm going to have family photographs. I'm going to bring a photograph of my daughter on horseback and military awards, medals, and also the flag. I'm going to bring a ring and the flag of the state of Texas and the state of New York. Space Exploration Federation, a question to Fyodor Yurchikhin. On the 25th of May, there was the high school graduation. Your daughter graduated from high school. What are the plans for you? What plans for college? Is it the Aviation Institute? No, in this case, no Aviation Institute. She's going to apply to an economic or management program. It's going to be 50-50. Well, Plekhanov Economic Academy. First of all, she's writing her Russian SAT equivalent exam. And I have a younger, also I have a younger daughter who graduated from the 2nd grade, and she's an honor student. All excellent grades.
Shannon, I read you're fond of cooking. What are you going to cook on the space station?
Unfortunately, I don't have much opportunity to cook since all the food's provided and it's a standard menu. But hopefully, we can create things with some of the condiments we have to make it a little more interesting and varied while we're up there.
Вопрос от Rush Today, Shannon Walker. Мы знаем, что вы очень любите готовить, и расскажите нам, что вы собираетесь готовить на подходе МКС.
Question to Shannon Walker. What are you planning to cook on board of the ISS? I don't think we're going to have many opportunities to cook. All the food is already provided, but we can probably try to experiment to make our standard food ration more interesting. A question. A question to Fyodor Yurchikhin. We're planning to have 1 Russian EVA and 2 U.S. stage EVAs. Originally, there were only 2 EVAs, 1 Russian, 1 U.S., and now they're thinking about having a 2nd U.S. segment EVA. We have trained for the EVA tasks. They were planned originally for June. The plans are changing. We're hoping that these EVAs stay in the program. Our increment task, the main task, it's the main task for our increment. No sooner are we going to dock to the station as we're going to have to relocate to another docking port in our Soyuz vehicle in order to fill up the port for the new module. And we're going to be the second part of the station crew, and we will need to make the MRM-1 module fully functional and independent so we can perform docking to the module in automatic mode using the telemetry channels. We're planning to dock 2 cargo vehicles, 1 or 2 shuttle vehicles. It's still a question depending on the question. As Alexei Krasnov was telling us whether we're going to dock the last shuttle or not. We would like to see the shuttle program to continue. If it's coming to an end, it would be good to be on board when the last shuttle docks to the ISS. And I think we're also going to see the new Soyuz modification, the new type of vehicle. And we're going to have some EVAs too. They're going to be docking a new digital Soyuz module. Did you have any additional training? You need to understand a cargo vehicle. It might change the process for receiving it and docking because it involves the teleoperator, the Torah mode, and all of nominal situations in case of Soyuz docking are handled by the crew members inside the vehicle. We're the prime crew on board the station, and we're going to monitor the vehicle path. Shannon will help us set the table to welcome the guys in the new Soyuz to the station. I think your increment is going to see the docking of the first commercial cargo vehicle to the U.S. segment. Let me have the commander answer that question.
Yes, it was originally scheduled to be in our expedition, but has moved out to the right a little bit. It'll be early next year, so we'll miss that first docking of that commercial vehicle.
Yes, according to the original plans, we were going to be on board of the ISS during the vehicle docking, but right now the plans have been changed and moved out.
We will hopefully toward the end of this year, toward the end of our expedition on board, we will see a visiting vehicle that will approach to a close approach. We hope to within 2.5 kilometers, and we'll be able to send commands and do a little bit of testing for that flight that will be in the spring.
But we hope that at the end of this year, at the end of our increment, there will be a test flight of this vehicle. It's going to approach the station at the distance of several kilometers, and I would have an opportunity to control it. May I ask a question? First question to Fyodor. Are there experiments that are part of your flight program at your request? And the question to all 3 crew members. You're going to be working on board the station in very difficult situations and conditions. Could you tell us what you think about each other? That was a very good question. Number 1, concerning the science research program. I had different proposals and recommendations. Greece wanted to offer something, but they have a complicated situation. So maybe some Earth observations. The official program is very intense, and it's planned for my execution, for me to perform. At present, the main part of the program is scheduled for Alexander Skvortsov and for Mikhail. As far as our crew members are concerned, Shannon Walker. She is an astronaut's wife. I think his spouse is here. Aren't you worried? Aren't you afraid to let Shannon fly with us?
I would like to go with them.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew. Вот, так вот, Шеннон, мало того, что она
Shannon not
женщина, во-первых, первая астронавт.
not only
Представьте себе, огромный город Хьюстон.
Not only is she the first female astronaut from Houston, Texas. This is a Houston that has Johnson Space Center and the space industry, and she is the first female astronaut from Houston. I would like to say that she is very professional, very patient, very tactful if she needs to help you out with something and give you an explanation. She helps us and she brings us together as a team. And yes, and now I'm not afraid to say that she is a beautiful lady as well. Douglas Wheelock. He has already flown on a space shuttle. He has already had an EVA. And he's going to take the responsibility of being our commander. Along with all of that, I think one of the things I really like about my crew member is he is never afraid to ask a question. Even though he's very knowledgeable, he is a very thinking person. He always asks a question. So I would like to give the microphone to my crewmate.
So, what to say about this crew? I think that first starting with Doug, because I've known him for at least 10 years, and we have always gotten along very well, and I very much enjoy his sense of humor.
Прежде всего, я, наверное, начну с Дага, поскольку я его знаю уже.
I'd like to start with Doug. I have known him for over 10 years. The first thing is he's a wonderful sense of humor.
We've only worked together a short time, but I know that we will work very well together. And actually, Fyodor's got a great sense of humor too. So I imagine while we're on the space station, we'll be laughing a lot together.
Но в отношении Федора мы не так давно знаем.
As far as Fyodor is concerned, we have only worked together for a short time, but I'm sure we'll work well together on board. He has a great sense of humor as well, so I think we're going to laugh a lot on board.
And then, of course, we've got the three crew that are already on board. As you may know, I trained with Sasha Sportsoff during my backup flow, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing him again in space, since we spent a lot of time training together.
Ну, еще пару слов насчет тех трех членов.
A few words about the three crew members on board of the ISS. Alexander Skvortsov is on board. We trained a lot as a backup crew. And I'll be glad to join him. We will work well together. We work together a lot as backup crew member.
For at least 10 years, and so it'll be like visiting old friends once we get up there. And with Misha Kornienko, also, we will have a lot of fun together while we work on our flight program.
Would you be asking? The backup crew training is almost identical to the prime crew station. The experiments that are available on board are for the benefit of the science research organizations. So you don't have any specific preferences? No, I personally do not. And what about your colleagues?
И мне очень нравится видеть, как жить в космосе.
I'm very interested in observing life in space.
In orbit, in weightlessness, many of the laws or the rules of how materials behave are different. So we have many experiments to do medically on ourselves to understand how people live in space, and also how things grow, plants and materials, and also how to design equipment to work up in space. We're looking forward to all of those experiments.
Я вообще
химик, поэтому для меня в первую очередь интересно, как себя ведут вещества с точки зрения физики в космосе. Кроме того, существуют эксперименты, которые мы проводим на наших организмах. Это помогает выработать правильное видение. Кроме того, помогает разработать правильный материал для работы в космосе.
We are preparing a good plan for our flight that has to do with science, technology, and education. So we have a full list of experiments that we're going to perform during our flight at the end of this year. Of course, if we fly now as a backup, there's going to be a little bit of a problem because some of these experiments will not be ready, and because of the way we have been trained, I'm not fully proficient on the experiments that are in space right now. So I would think this by itself will be a good experiment in trying to go up there and be the best we can be. But of course, our prime crew is going to fly, so there will be no problems with them.
Поскольку будущий экипаж, мы также подготовлены по тем экспериментам, которые будет выполнять основной экипаж. Кроме того, это эксперименты включают в свои эксперименты по развитию науки, технологий и образования.
К нам тоже.
English translation.
Can't read my own. I know my own.
Так, девушки, музейщики в кадр, быстро бегут.
Paolo. На меня, пожалуйста, смотрим.
Turn this way.
Еще разок.
I don't know. It's really it should wear from 1 week until 20. What kind of car do you want? I think 4 years old, 6 years old. 6 years old. No, 4 years old, yeah. 4 years old. Stay.